Hi, I'm Lucy Edwards, Director of Client Success at VHT Studios. My guest today is Birgit Anich from BA Staging and Interiors, and we are at this amazing Connecticut home with spectacular setting, and Birgit was able to create something out of a different world in this property.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. Thanks for having me.
So tell me please about this particular home. How long did it take you to stage it, and when you walked in, what creations you had in your mind?
So basically we started out with the property with a consultation, and we walked through the property with the home seller and the realtor in this case, and we suggested several updates and upgrades in the house before we wanted to do the staging. The house needed some fresh paint colors, we needed some lighting fixture updates, as well as one bathroom really needed to have strategic updates as well, where we changed the vanity, lighting fixtures, and a few tiles. So, and then that took a few months because the client needed to get everything organized with the tradespeople and so on. And then we came in and did do the staging. And the planning for the staging itself, it took us about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to do the planning in our warehouse and make the last minute purchases. And then the staging installation itself was like 2 days long.
Oh, that's not that bad. I guess the majority of the time was spent on preparing the house for you to walk in with your ideas for staging.
Right.
So that makes sense. Yes, absolutely. Birgit, you've been doing staging for about 12 years.
Yes.
Your opinion on the importance of real staging, real professional physical staging, and you took me around the property, and I can see the strategy behind every piece of furniture, or every fixture, or every little statue, or some flowers. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the importance of physical staging is that basically we want to give buyers an experience. We want to give them a lifestyle experience as they walk through the property and want to make them feel home. We want to make them feel welcome. And this is exactly what I want for me to live in. And we want to give them special moments in different areas of the home where they say, oh, I really like that. As you know, Lucy, we often put a pearl necklace on the nightstand just to give buyers that emotional connection that does not happen with any other staging, like virtual staging or so on. Mm-hmm. Virtual staging is just not, it may help getting buyers into the home, but they're going to be very disappointed if they walk into a property and there's nothing there and it's completely empty. There's no emotional connection that can happen anymore. And they are, first they have the disappointment as they walk into the door. Secondly, they have no emotional connection. Third, buyers will start focusing on the negative details of the property rather than on the positive features of the property, because they can see every single little detail that's negative. Plus, vacant rooms look smaller compared to when we put our stagings in. And so that is really, really important. And since we are selling real estate and real estate is selling space, we want to make sure that the property looks as large as possible. Whereas virtual staging cannot convey any of these things at all. They may be able to get them into the door, but then buyers are being disappointed at that point as they walk through the door.
Well, it does make sense. And like I said, when I was in the great room, I could really see the strategy behind the chair and the table, and how the light is playing around. It was just like an amazing experience. Absolutely. A lot of our clients are asking for our advice. Should we have the real staging or professional staging, and what is the cost? So I shouldn't really say cost because it's an investment. The seller and the agent together investing in the staging. So give me an idea of approximately where you stand, maybe not with that grand 10,000 square foot house, but something smaller and something maybe not as high end.
So, Lucy, you definitely have listened to me before, because you know already that staging is never a cost, it is an investment. And the investment really varies from property to property. It depends also how much preparation work needs to be done in order to be staging. But let's talk just about bringing in furniture into a vacant home or so on. I think like on average, it also depends on the geographic area where the property is, and prices vary throughout the country. However, on average, there is a rule of thumb, you could expect between 1% and 3% of the listing price for the staging investment. And so some people may say, what? Wow, that is so much. But think about this. If you have a 1% to 3% investment into the staging, but on average, professionally staged homes sell 5 to 25 and sometimes even more % higher price, how much is the return on investment? Let's say you have a 1% investment and you sell it for 6% higher price point. That is a 600% return on the investment. Which other investment can you make a 600% return on investment within a few weeks?
And that's something that I was going to ask you. It's probably, the property is probably sold so much faster, and you have a bidding war, and you have so many great offers because you staged the property so well and it's so attractive.
Yes, like professionally staged homes sell on average 84% faster than unstaged properties. So that's in addition to the return on the investment of just the pure dollars percentages that I just explained before. You save on the back end by selling faster. You save on all the carrying cost of the property, be it insurance, be it taxes, mortgage payments that you still have to make or so. So you save on the back end on top of it. So staging is really a no-brainer if you want to make the maximum dollar amount when selling your property. If you don't stage, you definitely leave money on the table, and you also have a higher stress level because it takes longer to sell your property.
And you also mentioned about geographical area. So you cannot be everywhere, but I'm sure you have a referral network, right? Where you have association of stages. It's nationwide organization.
Right.
But let's say if someone is selling the property where you don't know anybody and you can't really fly over there. So what's your solution for someone who would love your advice but just cannot have you physically there?
Right. So as you mentioned, I'm on the board of the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance, and we have a really pretty big network of fabulous stagers in the network that I can refer to whoever needs it throughout the country. However, if somebody wants us to still do a consultation, we are more than happy to do a virtual consultation that we can do using like FaceTime, we can use like video calls or send us photographs. And then we can do a consultation based on that information, and that we receive the visual information, and talk our clients through or prepare a report for them.
So that's great. Plan B is there.
Yes, yes. We love to work with everybody regardless of where they are located.
How long do you think, or would you recommend, for your furniture and all the items that you are bringing in to stay at the property? Just long enough for photography and maybe the first open house, or for longer?
Actually, our recommendation is to keep everything in place, the staging in place, until you're clear to close. That means that all contingencies have been lifted, because you never know what's happening in the real estate deal. Everything can fall through the last moment. We had like recently a client who had like 4 offers, and like all 3 offers fell through, and they would have had to start staging all over again, and the staging fees start reapplying from scratch as if you never had staged before. So I'd rather recommend leave the staging in place until you're clear to close.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I always say the house is not sold until your commission check is cleared. Anything can happen. So yes, you should probably just keep everything where it is and sign the agreement.
But it definitely has to be destaged before you have the closing, we had like one client ask us, what? We should de-stage before we are closing? I said, yes, because otherwise that staging, everything that's in the house becomes the new owner's property and our staging, then you're going to be liable for all the costs of substituting and replacing our inventory. So you better have us de-stage before you're closing.
Yeah, you have to let it go.
Let it go first.
And my last question is,
Sure.
what property qualifies for real professional staging?
So every property qualifies. The answer is like, as long as you want, if you don't want to leave money on the table, if you want to take the most dollar amount away from the sale of your home, get a professional stager in. That's my answer. And it doesn't matter whether it's a $150,000 home or a $10.5 million home. It doesn't matter. Every property qualifies. Naturally, whatever is being brought into each property has to be adjusted to whatever that price point is of that property. And that's what professional stagers do. They know how to really level the staging towards that property and take into account architecture and features of the property. So yes, every property qualifies.
And just like you mentioned earlier, there is a difference between the interior designer and a stager. When you stage the property, you have a vision of step 2, which is photography, walkthrough video, whatever else the realtor is going to produce for that listing.
Right.
You know what it's going to look like.
So yes, there's a interior design and home staging are completely two different professions. Yes, there are certain similarities to it, but somebody who is an interior designer is not going to be your best bet for staging. They don't understand, they have not been trained on how to orient furniture, because there is a difference between staging and interior design of how we orient furniture. Our focus as home stagers is to really guide the eye with psychological guidance, the way we place the furniture, how we introduce color, how we introduce and how we position certain accessories. And that's all from the vantage point of how to walk through the property, how to photograph everything to really maximize the guidance on the positive features of the property and not on the furniture. That furniture is important, and it's important the way it looks and feels. However, our main focus is highlighting the property
and the flow
of the property. Does that make sense?
It does indeed. Yes, it does. I learned so much today. It's amazing. So thank you, Birgit, so much. And again, what you've done here is amazing. And I have before and after photos. So yes, it certainly makes sense to professionally stage your listing with real furniture and with real stager.
Thank you so much, Lucy.
You have a great day and good luck. All the best.
Thank you.
Cheers, everybody. And please go to vht.com/learn to watch all my videos. Have a great day.